here. So since it's officially winter as of 2 days ago, I will be concentrating on houseplants, houseplant care, and putting together pretty houseplant arrangements. So today I will be putting one of those houseplant arrangements together, and I will show you how to do it. So here's what I gathered for my houseplant arrangement. I bought this beautiful fruit bowl at Target. It was about $10. It was on sale, and I love how festive it looks. It has the silver sheen, and it has a very natural border to it. And my thinking was, if they're selling it to use with food, to be in contact with food, it will be safe for plants. I have this gravel for drainage here, and this piece of old window screen mesh. I will explain why you need it later. And I have a little spade, some scissors. I have this potting soil. This is a general use potting soil, good for all houseplants. I will be using an African violet in my arrangement, so it does include a little African violet here on the front, so that's good. I have a pitcher with water. And as for the plants, I found these beautiful ferns in my local garden center for about $5 each. Ferns are great houseplants, very easy, as long as you keep the humidity a little bit higher. And this beautiful African violet, look, check out this color, oh, so pretty. And I also gathered some moss during a hiking visit to our local forest. Before you take anything out of your local forest or local park, you should probably check out the ordinances. Trust me, you don't want to get arrested. We're just trying to do gardening here. We don't try to get in trouble. So this moss is just beautiful. I love mosses because they add this beautiful like woody texture, green color, and they also raise humidity around your plants really well. And then I have this piece of wood that I just found laying around in the garden. So anyway, let's get started. Now, first of all, I would like to address this container. This is a non-draining container, and there's a lot of controversy out there whether these containers are good for your houseplants and whether your houseplants will be happy or healthy in these particular containers. So I will admit something to you. I am a self-proclaimed non-draining container fan. I absolutely love them. I have used them over the years, and I've been very successful with containers like that. Full disclosure, I am an experienced gardener. I am not a garden expert, but I do have 30 years of garden experience, so I can kind of tell whether your plants in this kind of containers will need more water or less water. So I do have experience with this. If you are a beginner gardener, I highly recommend that you start with containers with drainage holes. So there is a little bit margin for error. If you do overwater your plants, you know, there is, the water can come out of those holes on the bottom. Now, when you do have a non-draining container, you still can make this a safer environment for your plants. And here's how you do it. You need a false drainage, which you can create with this gravel. And this is going to be really loud, sorry. Okay, there's I think I need a little bit more gravel, but this will do for this demonstration. You have this gravel level at the bottom of your container, and this is where the mesh comes into play. This is an old window screen mesh. You can also use a landscape fabric for this, and I already pre-cut for this shape of this container here. And you put it on top of your gravel, so it creates this faux drainage level to separate it from your soil. So let's say you do overwater your plants, the soil will pull on the bottom in the gravel and kind of stay there. And this way your roots of your plants will not be suffocating in a lot of water. So that's just a quick tip on how to use these non-draining containers in your plant arrangements. So now that I showed you how this drainage works in this non-draining containers, let's put this houseplant arrangement together. I will put a little bit more gravel on the bottom. You need about 3/4 of an inch. There we go. I'll put the mesh on top. And add soil. Okay, so my planter is all prepped for the plants, and we're going to put in the plants next. Now, before we put in the plants, I want to show you a quick tip. I bought this African violet at the garden center a couple of days ago, and when I brought it home, I realized it was severely overwatered. When I took it out of the this little pot, it was just so wet. So what you can do if you think that your plant is been overwatered either by you or someone else, I know I asked my husband to water my plants when I was away, so that happens. So what you can do, you can take out your plant out of the pot and you can wrap the root ball in a paper towel for a couple of hours or overnight. It depends on the severity of your condition of this, the overwatering. So this I actually left overnight, and what happens, all of the extra moisture is absorbed by paper towel, and then you could just remove it and the plant feels much, much better. If the plant is too tall for your container, you can always remove a little bit of the soil on the bottom. It does not hurt plant at all, as long as you don't disturb many roots. Make sure you leave a little bit of a rim so the water doesn't overspill when you water your beautiful arrangement. Pack the soil tightly so you don't have any air bubbles. Now we have our beautiful African violet. I'm going to put it right in the middle. Now I turned the container over to your side so you can see it a little bit better. So I'll need to add a little bit more soil on this side. Okay, and now we'll put the moss. pack it a little tighter so there is connection between the soil and the moss, and the roots of the moss can grow. I think I'll need another piece right here. Now the moss does seem to be a little raised from the planter, but it's only because it has very kind of thick root system. I actually like the look a lot. Okay, we're almost there. And the last piece, I will put a piece of wood right about here, kind of like it's coming out of the ground. And we are done. So this houseplant container is done, and I love how it turned out. The last step is to water it. And I would water it less rather than more because it is a non-draining container. And also check out this picture that I found in the dollar store. I am really eyeing it for a terrarium. Maybe I'll put some plants in there. Let me know if you'd like to see a video about that. I hope you like this video, and if you have any questions or comments, post them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.